We're talking about Teddi Mellencamp, the story that just came out on Us Weekly. It's actually really, really devastating. I have to talk about it. You know, Teddy is a personal friend of mine, and it just came out, this article, uh, and it's just so devastating. I want to talk about it. Um, there's also, of course, other stories. Karen Reed. I mean, we have so much to cover. So let's get right into it. As you guys come on in, I know this is a way earlier episode. I think I'm 4 hours earlier than I normally am, but make sure to, subscribe if you're here. If you're new to the show, uh, let people know. Let people know. Daily Dose of Donna all over the world. Well, all over the country. How about that? Okay. Let's get into the first of the stories. I'll start with some little tidbits before I get into the Justin Baldoni of it. How about that? Just because I want to make sure. Let's start talking about Teddi Mellencamp, this article in Us Weekly that just came out. You know, I am friends with Teddi, and Teddi has been she's, a former Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. She has her podcast, Two Teas in a Pod, where she covers a lot of the housewives shows, and she's going through a really, really horrible experience right now, with her cancer battle, and she has melanoma. Of course, as you guys, oh my god, the ads on these websites are out of control, but she has this melanoma battle, and she is handling it like such a pro. I think honestly, it is unreal how she is handling it. It's more than I could ever. I don't know how I would handle it if this happened to me. She is such an incredible fighter. Can you imagine she's exactly my age. I mean, I think we're the exact same age. I think she's 1 month younger or older than me. So 43 years old, right? She is She had 17 melanomas in the exact same spot of her upper back that kept coming back and back and back, and she kept getting them removed. And then, of course, they hit in her brain. They spread to her brain, and she had to get these brain surgery, this last, like, out of nowhere brain surgery just last month, or in January, I want to say, maybe February. And then they did an MRI, and they found them in her, or a CT scan, I can't remember. And then they found them in her lung. But then the most devastating news, which she talks about with Us Weekly, is that she was still getting a lot of pain in her head, in her brain. And she went back, and then sure enough, and I was privy to this information, but of course, I always told you guys I would never share information with you guys about Teddi or about anything health related with anyone unless she shares it. It's not gossip, but if she's sharing it, I can share it with you guys. But yes, she has 4 more brain tumors. So she went back and got another MRI because of this pain that she was getting in her brain, and 4 more brain tumors. So they're coming back fast. And so this article with Us Weekly, and she's the cover story, of course, is talking about the fact that she's going through this while going through, of course, the separation with her husband, but they're still getting along really well. They're still living together. And it says that sadly, just 2 days later, she received the heartbreaking news that 4 additional small tumors had been found on her brain during an emergency MRI. But if one thing is clear from our convo with Mellencamp, she's giving this everything she got. I mean, she's so stunning, by the way. I have to just say, like, some people, can really pull off the shaved head look, and she really does. And she talks about how she had the migraines, and that is what, got her to finally go into the hospital. She talks about how she really suggests to go to get life insurance young. By the way, do you guys have life insurance? I am not Vicky Gumbelson, but get life insurance. That's important. Get life insurance. I got life insurance when my kids were young. Like, I want to say I got life insurance maybe 6 or 7 years ago, maybe 8 years ago. So get life insurance. So she talks about getting life insurance. She said the hardest things was when she was in the ICU, she had no memory. One day I realized it was my daughter's birthday and I couldn't be there for it. and she just talks about, going through everything. What's interesting about Teddy is that she has a really strong sense of humor. She talks about how she felt when she shaved her head. She talks about, let me make it a little bigger so you guys can see a little bit more of the words. Facing your mortality must be so hard, the article says. She goes, everybody wants me to be super positive all of the times. All of the time. One of my coping mechanisms is being sarcastic. I'd rather joke about it and have the best possible outcome than be completely in denial and have my heart broken. It says, how do you try to stay positive? She says, planning things I look forward to. A lot of people said I shouldn't be horse riding, but it's one of the things I love doing with my daughter. And I'm really lucky that Edwin, who I was in the middle of a divorce from, we put everything on hold. That's made things a lot easier. And she says that they're still living in the same under the same roof. That's Edwin and that's her. And they get along really well. And she goes into more details. So I'm praying for Teddy. I really just wanted to spend a few minutes of this beginning of the show just talking about it and just, putting out my thoughts for her. I really, really love her as a person. I know she gets a bad rep from her time on Housewives. A lot of people have such an issue with um, how she was on Housewives and how she was taking care, like how she was, you know, I guess her reality character. But I don't give a shit about that. At the end of the day, she's a human being. She's a mom, and that's all that matters. She's a good person, in my opinion.